In today's video, I'm going to take you through softball throwing mechanics for both fast pitch and slow pitch. So if you're a player who wants to improve your throwing velocity, your accuracy, or you're a coach who wants to know what you should be teaching mechanically, I'm going to walk you through everything in this video. So if you're new here, I'm Dan Blewett. I'm a former pro baseball player. I've worked with a lot of players over the years on their softball throwing mechanics and their pitching mechanics for baseball. I've learned a lot over the years that I share here on my YouTube channel. I also have a slow pitch throwing course and a beginner and advanced fast pitch overhand throwing course. Find those courses in the video description below. They are a wonderful walkthrough if you're a coach or a player and you want a program to follow with drills, instruction, everything laid out. You'll find that in the description below. So number one, and this is huge, that when throwing a softball, you have to get your upper body and your lower body closed to your target. And what that means is when I catch that ball thrown from my target, right now, my chest is open to my target. So if I just step through and I don't close off, I'm gonna push the ball with my elbow, which is a very bad habit, which a lot of players have. So instead, when I catch that throw from my partner, I need to get what's called closed off. So right now my chest is facing perpendicular to my target. So this is open, this is closed. So anytime I play catch or I catch a fly ball, I scoop up a ground ball, I've got to get my feet turned so that now I'm close to my target, and then I can use the rotation of my body. If I'm open when I throw, I'm gonna push the ball. I'm not gonna get the involvement of my hips and my core, and everything is gonna be slower and less accurate. Let's talk about the arm action in throwing a softball. What is the arm supposed to do? There are some old teaches we do not want. There are some old myths that are still pervasive. We do not want to catch the ball and lift our arm up. This is bad. This is not how the best throwers in the world do it. We do not want to just raise it up. What we do when our hands separate is the ball goes down first, very slightly, but the ball goes down, and then our elbow pulls back. We do not want to be in this 90-degree L position until later on. So the way this works in slow motion is I field it, my foot's down, my hands separate, I pull back like a bow and arrow, and when my foot lands, my arm should be somewhere around here, not straight up in the air. It should be slightly above, parallel with the ground, and my elbow should be behind my body. So from the rear angle, once my foot's down, my hands separate and my elbow pulls back. And when I pull my shoulder blades back, my hips start to rotate first, it pins the ball behind me. Now my arm lays back into what's called external rotation, and then everything powers the ball through from my legs to my hips to my core to my shoulder. That is extremely important. So to summarize the arm action in throwing a softball, no matter how we funnel it up, we catch that ground ball, hand separates down, shoulder pulls back, glove, arm, and hip start to rotate first, arm is laid back, and then it comes through all its own. This is a huge myth that is slowly getting undone by good softball instructors. I've seen some amazing fast pitch coaches finally teaching really good throwing mechanics. It's amazing. It's a great trend in softball, but slow pitch, we still need work. And there's still a lot of youth coaches that need to learn the right way to do this. Let go of the things you were taught as a kid. This is what the arm action looks like. Real quick, if you enjoy my videos here on YouTube, check out the join button below. You'll learn about my channel memberships, where you'll get access to hundreds of videos not publicly visible here on YouTube, and tons of other free perks. So check out the join button below, and I hope to see you here as a channel member. Another really common problem I see, especially in the fast pitch community when it comes to throwing mechanics, is hands breaking too soon. So the timing of when your hands separate is your hands are gonna stay together until this back foot lands. So if I'm catching a fly ball or I'm on the move, my hands are gonna stay together to here, and then they're gonna separate as I start to stride out. When I'm in the infield, it doesn't matter because my feet are pretty much gonna plant right away. So my hands can separate and start moving. But if I were to scoop up a ground ball and I wanna shuffle, I don't wanna shuffle like this. It's very unathletic. You wanna think about being a football quarterback. If you have time and you funnel that ground ball, keep it at your center like Tom Brady would, and keep it here until it's time, and then you go. So when you shuffle, you keep it at your center, shuffle, 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 and then make your throw. You'll also see infielders re-tap, and that is a timing mechanism. I do this when I'm playing catch. So I'll catch the ball from my buddy, I'll shuffle, and I'll tap, and I'll go. It's just sort of like resetting myself so I'm on time. So in the infield, if you charge it and you're here early, you could always re-tap and then go, and that's totally fine. But in general, once the ball's in your center, your foot's got to hit before your hands separate. Otherwise, it's very awkward. Your hands start to move and you're in this position, and then your arm is in the wrong spot and everything goes haywire. So the big teach is always bring the ball to your center. That's the starting place no matter how you're going to throw it. And then your hands are not going to separate until this foot is touched down and your stride has begun. All right, let's talk about arm actions for different positions, starting with infielders. Infielders are going to have a very short arm action because their feet are going to be on the ground pretty much as soon as they feel that ground ball. So because of that, they can just draw the bow and arrow back. They can just right away go right into throwing position. Catchers are basically the same. They'll catch it, they'll start to move their feet, and they'll draw right back to throw. Outfielders are the different one. Now, outfielders don't have to think about it. They don't have to change it. But because outfielders are going to catch and they're going to have a longer stride as they do their pro step, as they get their feet moving towards their target, because they're going to be striding longer and their feet are in the air longer, their arm action will naturally lengthen out a little bit more. You don't have to coach them to do this. It will happen on its own. In baseball, this is the reason that baseball pitchers have a longer arm action. Baseball outfielders have a longer arm action because their feet are wider as they stride because they have more time in the air. And catchers and infielders, yes, they have to get rid of the ball faster, but their arm action is short because my feet are on the ground. So I can't be in this position until my foot hits down. And as an outfielder, where I have a much longer way to go, I'm in the air longer, my arm action is longer so that the timing matches up. When players go to the infield, sometimes they'll carry over a longer outfield arm action. And so you might have to encourage them to say, hey, when it leaves your glove, elbow pulls back right away. You don't need that extra length. But the big takeaway here is the length of your arm action is going to match the length of your stride and how long you're in the air when you stride. All right, let's talk about pivot throws and times when you're not going to stride when you throw. So say I'm playing third base and I'm going to throw to second. I get a hard ground ball and I field it. I'll just rock into my right leg and I'll throw. That'll be a sidearm throw. Say I'm playing second base and I get a ground ball and I want to feed it to second. I'll just pivot my upper body, pull my shoulder back, and make my throw. So these throws require basically the same mechanics. They just require the ball leaving our glove, elbow pulling back, making my throw, or elbow pulling back, leaning into my leg, and making my throw. So there are times in the infield where you won't stride just to start a double play usually, and that's totally fine. You just want to pivot and draw that elbow back to start your throw. All right, let's talk about the glove arm action in the softball throw and why it's so important. So what the glove arm does is it kind of initiates and helps amplify the rotation of our lower half. So our glove arm sort of acts like a crank, and then when our glove arm rotates in and helps get to the other side of the body, it helps bring our hips with us and increases the velocity of our throw. So good glove arm action for infielders, it won't be as high. It can be shoulder level, but a lot of times infielders, their glove will just swim low and then it'll clear their body like this. Outfielders tend to have higher glove sides, and then the glove will also clear the body like this. We've got to get the upper arm on this side of the body. We don't want the glove arm in front of our body. We don't want it at our chest. It'll either fall down completely by our side or it will tuck in kind of like this. Either way is fine as long as it gets completely clear of our body. So if you want to improve your throwing mechanics in softball, if your glove arm's flying out like this, or it's like stuck in front of your body, you're definitely losing power, and you just want to clean it up where that elbow pulls down to your back hip, either with a long arm or a tucked arm, and it gets to the side of your body. Let's talk about how you grip the softball and why it matters in how hard you throw and how accurately you throw. So number one, most people should hold it with 3 fingers, and they should be relatively close together where there's not a huge gap, so you're not like a starfish, but you're relatively close together. That way they can put even pressure through the center of the ball. Thumb on the bottom is going to be the right place to put it for most people. If your thumb's on the side, you're going to push this and you're going to rotate around it and you're going to get bad spin. We want to have good backspin that matches our arm angle. You're not going to get 12-6 backspin, but if your arm angle is here, you'll get backspin that matches your arm angle. So this is very, very important. The better the spin you get, the better flight it will have. It will track straighter and it will stay in the air longer. If you get bullet spin, which is very, very common, even I throw these because the softball is hard to throw straight. Even I will get bullet spin sometimes a little bit. If you get on the side of it and you get that mixture of bullet spin and side spin mixed in, the ball is going to die a lot sooner and it's going to curve off track, especially in longer throws from the outfield. So you probably want to use 3 fingers. If you have really big hands, you can use 2 and have the ring finger just sort of drape down the side, and then thumb and pinky mostly on the bottom. But whatever you do, make sure all of your force is going through the center of the softball. If all your force is going through the center of the softball, it's going to fly straighter. You're going to get more velocity into it, and it's not going to curve off target as much. Coming from a lifetime pitching baseballs, throwing a softball straight is hard. It's just hard. And so you want to prevent getting any of that side spin mixed in however you can, and having a 3-finger grip usually gives you the best chance to do that. So we talked about open versus closed. Let's talk about footwork on ground balls and how to get more throwing velocity and accuracy. When we scoop that ground ball up, we want to funnel it up to our belly button. So we want to bring it to our center, and then we're going to try to get our right ankle if you're a righty, left ankle if you're a lefty, pointed to the direction. So if I'm throwing towards my camera, I want to get this towards my camera, and then it's left foot, and then right to left, left to target with a quick shuffle. Now, if you have to get rid of the ball really quick, you won't take a shuffle and you'll just do the footwork like you see in this slow motion video that I'm overlaying. If you have time, then you absolutely want to shuffle your feet, because every shuffle that you make gets your body in a better throwing position, and it gets you closer to your target, and it gives you momentum. So the number one thing you can do if you get a ground ball that hits you pretty hard, pretty quick, is get your feet switched, shuffle, and make that throw. It'll help you gather everything up and get more velocity and accuracy into your throw. Now, as an outfielder, if you're going to throw after catching a fly ball, here are the mechanics. And I know this is controversial for some people. You're going to catch it with one hand. All the best throwers in the world do this. If you don't believe me, go look up some Major League Baseball outfield videos. Every time they throw a runner out in Major League Baseball, they catch it with their glove arm, their feet move, they bring it to their center, and then they throw all at once. It's how the body gets in sync, and it's the best way to do it. If you're a beginner and you're not comfortable doing with that, that's fine. You can catch it with 2 hands, or you can catch it with 1 hand, but you have to bring it to your center before you throw. So there's no benefit for reaching up. You caught it and you reach up. Now your arms are in this super unathletic position. That's not how it works. We need to catch it, bring it to our center as we're getting ourselves closed off, and then we make our footwork and we make our throw. Now, one of the great ways to make a stronger outfield throw is to cheat. So if you're camped and I'm just waiting for this fly ball, rather than catching it like this, I'm gonna start to turn my body and I'm gonna catch it like this. That way, as soon as I catch it, I can start to move my feet, boom, and I'm ready to launch it right away. Don't catch it flat-footed out here, out here, out here. Don't catch it like here if you have plenty of time. Get yourself a little bit cheated. Catch it here as you start to move through it. That's the key to making stronger outfield throws.
All right, so let's quickly talk about outfield footwork. So this is what's called the pro step, and it's basically just scooping up a ground ball, turning your feet into a shuffle, and then throwing. And now, depending on whether you feel this on your left or right foot, will determine if you have to take an extra step or two, but it's way more efficient than the crow hop because it helps you get your hips closed off. And you can see as I'm starting to come up, I'm already starting to turn my hips a little bit to get to that closed position. And then as you can see here, it ends up just being a shuffle, and then it's really easy to make a really strong throw. You're closed and you can get all of your oomph into the softball.
And then when you're playing catch, especially if you're a beginner, every time you catch the ball, turn your feet, shuffle, and throw. Don't make these lazy step through throws. They are what make players worse. You'll see high-level players doing that because, yeah, they've made so many good throws in their lives, they're just being lazy, and this is not gonna hurt them. But for beginners and intermediate players who are trying to improve their throwing mechanics, you have to be better with everything, and you have to be very diligent about your footwork and every aspect of your mechanics. So when you're playing catch, even if it's just very casual, catch it, turn your feet, shuffle, and throw. Catch it, turn sideways, shuffle, and throw. It's very, very simple, but it makes a very meaningful impact on the quality of your softball throwing mechanics. So throwing on the run is a same arm, same leg throw. So when we throw regular, I'm landing on my left foot. My left foot is basically my throwing foot, and then my arm comes through. When I throw on the run, I'm gonna throw right leg for me as a righty, and my upper body's gonna clear, my glove arm's gonna clear here, and then I'm gonna go and let my arm match my arm slot. Couple things to think about when you're throwing on the run. You cannot make these throws overhand, so do not try. I see softball players do this because their coaches have yelled at them so many times to get on top of the ball that they try to throw on the run like this. It doesn't work. Wherever your shoulders are, your arm needs to match it. So if you throw overhand, that's great. Throw sidearm, it still matches this line. And if I throw on the run, now this is a submarine arm action.
Let's talk through throwing on the run, which is super fun. So you can see right here, right arm, right leg, and my glove arm is clearing my body and my elbow has pulled back behind my body. So you can see the softball. Now, when we get to this point, we want this tight joint angle. That's what pulling our elbow back gives us. And you can see my glove arm is still clear of the left side of my body. And then as I release, you're going to see this line from my shoulders. So you always need a match. Your shoulder tilt should match your arm slot. That's important. And then as I finish, you'll see my glove kind of falls back in front of my body just because that's the direction I'm going. And now here I'm charging straight ahead, so not throwing at an angle. Same thing, elbow pulls back, glove arm clears the body. And then there's a little bit different. You'll see this glove arm get a little more in front of my body early because my momentum is going directly to my target. This is like chasing a runner down and throwing directly to someone in the baseline. That's kind of an example of when you do this type of throw. So overall, making these throws on the run, they're actually really positive for the overall set of throwing mechanics that you exhibit. And that's mostly because the glove arm action and the elbow pulling behind the body that you can see there, it translates to all other types of throws. Even when you throw overhand, your sidearm throwing, because you get so heavy on pulling the elbow behind your body, it leaks over in a really positive way and improves your overall throwing mechanics.
You get power a couple ways. Number one, by pulling your shoulder up all the way back. You pull your shoulder back, and that creates this tight joint angle, a little bit less than 90 degrees. That is where we get our power, and then the arm unfolds and we make our throw. But the main thing is players don't want to be tucking it in when they're making these on-the-run throws. The glove arm should stay long, and it should clear the body as the arm sort of unfurls the way it wants to. Now, I do want to say throwing on the run is one of the most fun things in baseball and softball. So even if you're a beginner, even if you're a fast pitch coach and you're coaching pretty young players, let them learn this skill. Let them try it, let them fail at it, let them have fun being athletic and challenging themselves. Do not get into the camp where you're saying, everything's gotta be over the top. How dare you throw from sidearm? How dare you throw on the run? Let them be athletes, let them enjoy the fun parts of the game. Because throwing on the run requires you to pull your shoulder blade back and essentially have the proper arm action for any type of throw, it will have a positive carryover into every throw. Overhand, standard, all of them. So the number one thing you can do as a coach is embrace the tough throws and let your players have fun learning on the fly. Now, if you're wondering what drills do I do to work on this, my channel membership, which you'll find below, and my online courses contain all of my throwing drills that'll help you on the different aspects that you've seen in the video today. It's great to use them as a quick reference, really short and concise for each different drill. So find those in the description below. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you here in the next video.